Hello, Carrots here. Welcome to the 30 Grandchildren Badge Attempt, episode 39. We return to the Great Southern Land, where several of the guests are still at the wedding, dancing after the brides and grooms have left and gone back to Cake Island. And the new 3 future brides and groom, 2 brides and 1 groom, have arrived, and they've moved into the main house here in the Great Southern Land. Some of the Sims from the household have gone down to the beach, and if you remember at the end of the last episode, Joni had turned up at the beach where she'd bumped into her future husband, Jack. Not sure if they realised yet if they were destined for each other, but there were pink hearts involved. It turns out that Joni and Jack hit up an instant attraction for each other, and in this episode we are going to focus on the development of the romance between that couple, and they will be getting married, and then they'll go back to Cake Island with a few of the others from the household. The romance between the other 2 couples will be dealt with in the following episode. Now that's Klaus Warner there. He's been dancing with Clara. Clara is currently unstable, and I see she's just gained the evil trait, and I think she might have caught it from him because he's evil. I've added him to the household now because I think the things he likes to do autonomously are pretty crazy, and he will more than likely add some fun and games and entertainment to the story. He's one of my very old Sims. I've had him for years, just haven't played him for a long time, and this version of him, of course, is completely blank, no skills at all. Well, you know about Klaus and Clara, but the third one there is Chris, and he hasn't met her yet, but his future wife has just arrived in the Great Southern Land and moved into the main household, and her name is Constance. And that's Cameron sitting there reading his Kendall's imaginary friend made real. Now, Klaus has got the lifetime wish of Master Romancer, and he's feeling a little bit stressed, wondering if he's up to the task. So he's gone upstairs to question the Love Inspector. Love Inspector's trying to give him some encouragement. Back at home, after his sessions with the Love Inspector, Klaus is getting to know Lucy. Lucy, of course, is the evil imaginary friend made real, so they can have some fun scaring each other. Somehow I don't think this sort of behaviour is going to help him much achieve his lifetime wish of Master Romancer. 2 of the imaginary friends made real wanted to grow a forbidden fruit seed. Cameron's already planted his, so you can see it there, just near the red and gold treasure chest from China. And now Lucy is coming to plant hers, so give her a bit of a diversion from scaring Klaus. They're going to get to pick their, hopefully, plant sim babies before they return to Cake Island 2. To give it a bit of encouragement, she's just fertilised her newly planted seed. Cameron fertilised his as well when he planted his, but it was in the previous episode that he did that. So Kendall and Karen just had a brief encounter beside the science machine. Not much romance happening there yet, but they will get married in the next episode. Constance is there cooking. Her cooking skill was right on the verge of moving up to the next level, so I told her to go and cook some breakfast for everyone, and that did the trick. She went up to the next level in cooking, but of course that just meant she had to go and read more recipes now. She made some very badly burnt pancakes and some very beautifully perfect waffles. After his brief encounter with his future wife, Karen, Kendall took it upon himself to head into town where he found a dumpster and went dumpster diving. I'm not sure if this means he wasn't really happy with Karen or if he's feeling a little insecure about Karen. We'll have to wait and see how their romance develops or not. They will be the last couple to get married, so if it doesn't happen, it doesn't really matter. We'll have 14 other couples. It just means somebody will have to have an extra baby to make up for the 2 that they won't produce. But it's not saying he just might be feeling a little insecure and wondering if she would actually take him on or not. Who knows? We won't know the answer to that till next episode. I didn't even know we had a dumpster in town that you could go dumpster diving in, so lucky he found it. Hey, hang on a minute there, Chris. That wasn't bought for you. I don't think he cares. I know what he's up to. He is intrigued about this new household member, Klaus Warner, and he's trying to find out everything that there is to find out about him. Suspicious looking character, that's what Chris thinks. Better find out all he can while he's got the chance. That night, the entire household went out on a group outing. It was a huge outing, and they filled the local casino, and everybody had fun gambling and playing on the machines, playing poker at the poker tables, and blackjack at the blackjack tables, and roulette at the roulette tables. It was a great time was had by all. I had been hoping they might use the time to get to know each other a bit better, but everybody was way too absorbed in the gambling machines to spend much time learning about each other. This, of course, is the blackjack table. We started off at the poker table, and the next table is the roulette table. And I used a mod to convert all of the juice bars that came with the venue into professional bars. That's why Clara was able to go and order food from the mixologist. They did all eventually manage to go home, some of them more reluctantly than others. Some had big wins or small wins, and others had losses. But overall, they all had a jolly good time. And the next day, Joni and Jack went on their first date together. They went to the Magic Gnomes Magical Fun Park. They've already met, but this is the first time they've been out together with none of the other household members. After a quick conversation in the little bar downstairs, they decided to go up to this bakery that they'd heard about. They thought they would just try and see if they could find something interesting to eat up there. This venue, they were spoilt for choice of where to sit and eat, and they both ended up in completely different locations. So I waited for them to finish eating before moving on to the next part of their date. Joni was upstairs near the bakery. Jack decided to go back down to the little bar where he had first met up with Joni when they first arrived at the venue. This is known as the Magic Gnomes Magical Treasure Park. That's because there is a small building in this venue with traps and things in it, and they can find treasure. There's holes in the floor. So we'll go through that, and if they search the correct hole in the floor, they can find a magic gnome. Here they are now, they've gone bowling. There's a bowling alley upstairs, not far from where Joni was eating her pie. He was very happy about falling flat on his face. I hope Joni does a bit better. This is the first time either of them have gone bowling though, I think, so I suppose they've both got lots to learn yet. And she does a celebratory happy dance. So he didn't totally miss, he got 2 of the pins over. Joni wasn't impressed. Let's see how she does. And just let her do this and then we'll go on to the next bit. Very good. And he left one standing. Time for a little chat. got to decide where to go next. Obviously, Joni's thinking about more breakfast. But they are making friends, getting to know each other better. Looks like they both enjoyed comic books. Oh, pink hearts. Things are going well. There is a roller coaster on this lot. It's not a very long ride, but it is definitely a roller coaster here. So they've decided to go for a short ride on a little roller coaster. It should be fun, and I expect they'll be dripping wet when they get off. All those loops the loop made poor Jack feel rather queasy, but he got off the roller coaster and managed to avoid throwing up. They'd noticed a swimming pool and a water area while they were up on the roller coaster, so they decided that they'd go for a swim next. On the way up the staircase to the swimming area, they discovered a small area that had restrooms and a baby change table, and that is where Joni decided to sit and read for about 2 seconds before she suddenly thought about swimming. They indulged in a short bout of splashing each other, and then they decided to have a breath-holding competition. And Joni won that by a dramatically large margin. Swimming was fun and refreshing, but they wanted to explore more of this huge entertainment venue. And they were wondering why it was called the Magical Gnomes, Magical Treasure Park. So they wandered off to see what else they could find. And there was a ping pong table. And they just suddenly got the idea that a game of juice pong might be just the thing.
Bibda.
They played for a while. It soon became obvious that Joni was going to be drinking copious amounts of juice. Well, Jack hardly had any. He did have a couple of drinks of juice, but not as much as she did. So they gave the juice pong a miss. He didn't want to have to carry her home. They wanted to do some more exploring. They discovered this tiny little building right in the middle of the park, and there were no windows in it, and there was a door that they could go through. So they decided to explore what was inside there. They found there was lots of mirrors. The rooms were very tiny, but the walls were all covered with mirrors. So we're going to have to view from above. There's no way we can get down there at sim eye level to see what's going on in that little building. As you can see, not everywhere is visible. Joni's going to have to find her way around the maze. Jack's too busy talking to himself in the mirror. Joni found a floor plate to stand on, and when she stood on it, it revealed some holes in the floor that you could search for treasure. She found a cut geode in the first hole that she searched. And Jack's gone on and found himself another mirror to talk to. This time the mirror is talking back. There's a green face peering out of it. Spooky. Joni walked through the door to a darkened room, and the lights came on, and she found another hole in the floor, which she promptly searched. When digging in the hole, she suddenly felt this horrifying, spooky sensation of insects crawling all over her arm. But she overcame her fears and got straight back to digging in that hole, and was rewarded when she found a magic gnome. There was another hole in the floor just behind her, so she wondered what was in it. So she had to go and dig just to find out. This hole had those disgusting insects in it as well, but she shook them off her arm and got on with digging in the hole just to see what the treasure might be. It had better be good, or at least something worth the effort of putting up with all those bugs. And when she finally pulled it from the hole, she discovered it was 34-year-old Cronulet Nuala Grape Hazelnut Nectar, worth 536 simoleons. She thought that was pretty good, but she didn't know if she'd get around to drinking it. She might just sell it. And then there was another hole in a different room, and she thought she'd go and check it out next. To her great relief, there were no bugs in this hole, and she found a cut soul piece worth an impressive 3,542 simoleons. That was pretty good. And there was one more hole to investigate, and that's what she got herself busy with immediately. And all this while, Jack was having a great time chatting with that green face in the mirror. Oh, and there was bugs in that hole. But she got straight back to it, digging in that hole to see what it might hold, and it was worth it, because she found a cut rainbow gem worth an impressive 2,334 simoleons. Now we just got to drag Jack away from that mirror. There was a love inspector and some kissing booths just outside that little building that they'd just been in. So they went out to Love Inspector and used it together just to see the state of their relationship. Love Inspector said, "Wild, zow! It is good that Love Inspector is plugged into a surge protector, because you two are pure electricity." Now, like all good fun parks, this fun park had a dance floor where they could go and do some slow dancing together. Now Joni was feeling very keen on this bloke, and she was just wanting to kiss him. She wanted a first kiss. And so she did it. And he was so surprised, but he kissed her back. After all, when he was made, he was given traits that would make him very attracted to Joni, and Joni would be very attracted to him. And he does have the surrounded by family lifetime wish. He wants to raise 5 children from baby to teen, and he needs somebody to be the mother of those 5 children.
Ik niet dat.
Basta. Drazel.
Oh,
Warga.
Vadish.
And it looks like Joni could be the perfect candidate. They did enjoy the kiss, and now he's got babies on his mind. I think this pair think that they're going to have a lot of fun together. I'll just do a little bit more dancing, and then they'll go home to get some sleep. But before they do, Jack's decided that he'd better get in first with one big question, and he asked her to be his girlfriend so they could be official boyfriend and girlfriend. And she said yes, and so they became boyfriend and girlfriend forever, or at least until the relationship moves on to the next stage. They were up very early the next morning because they had decided to go on a balloon ride. They went way up into the sky and they did some sightseeing. And Joni had been thinking. She thought it was about time they took their relationship to the next level. And so she turned to Jack and she got down on one knee and she proposed marriage to him. And he got such a shock, he just said yes. It was so romantic and so unexpected and so exciting. So there it was all arranged. And now they're going to have to hurry home. They've got a wedding to plan. Later that day, when they'd got back at home, Joni took an interest in Clara using the brain-enhancing machine to solve her trait problem. She has the unstable trait and we need to get rid of it. We don't want it turning up at any more weddings when her nightwear or her bikini. She's currently acquired unstable, evil and insane traits, and I'd like her to have something more useful before they all go back to live in Cake Island. Of course, her lifetime wish is gold digger. She wants to see the ghost of her wealthy spouse. So perhaps she really is a little bit evil. But anyway, her traits are now snob, green thumb, eccentric, gatherer, vegetarian, natural cook. And I do believe I noticed she had acquired a hidden trait of handiness, although it isn't supposed to be a hidden trait. So I'm a bit confused, but I'll try not to worry about that too much. After getting her traits fixed, Clara went to garden. The garden needs a lot of care, and Cameron's come to check on his forbidden fruit seed, and now he's watering the one that Lucy planted. It looks like Cameron's should be ready to pick soon. I hope he gets a plant sim baby, but it's only a 50-50 chance. It could just get a forbidden fruit. And if he does get another forbidden fruit, then he can take that with him to Cake Island, and he can plant it again in Cake Island and try for a baby there, because we don't want to have to wait here any longer than we have to. We'll have to wait for Lucy's to be ready to pick, so it'll be another couple of sim days before we can go back to Cake Island. Bruce wants to plant a forbidden fruit seed as well, but he has to learn a bit about the science skill first, apparently. I got Kendall to change into his athletic outfit because he got dripping wet trying to steal a coin from the wishing well, and he got one. Meanwhile, I've sent Lucy to the wishing well to fish because her fishing skill is still only at level 5 and she can't read all the books. I think Bruce is going to be stuck on that science machine for quite a while. Jack's obviously still got babies on his mind. He wanted to improve his sculpting skill, so I told him to sculpt something in wood. And it looks like he's working on a toy box. And it turns out I was right, and he has made himself a toy box out of wood. Now how do we get it back to Cake Island? Maybe he'll have to make another one when he gets there. Joni has a wish to paint something worth more than 150 simoleons, so I told her to paint a big painting. She's pretty good and her work tends to sell for thousands, so she should easily satisfy that wish. It looks like a pretty interesting painting too. Clara and Cameron have finished tending the garden, and it's looking pretty good, except there's a lot of dead plants still in it. They've already got rid of quite a few of the dead plants, but Cameron's just going to finish off now, and then we'll have to wait until after 5 o'clock tomorrow morning for the garden to grow before he'll be able to pick his forbidden fruit and see if he gets a plant sim baby or another forbidden fruit out of it. Joni's painting looks like it's finished. I don't think I've seen that one before, but I probably have. I think I'll get her to put it in her inventory so she can hang it on her wall back in Cake Island. Oh, poor Cameron, he's all upset about all his plants dying. I tell you what, the game runs a lot more smoothly since all those dead plants have gone. A smaller garden definitely works better. And Joni's taken the painting, it's in her inventory now, and it can stay there till they get home to Cake Island up. It's almost 5 a.m. The garden is about to grow. It'll look like it has never been touched in a few seconds. And that forbidden fruit seed will be ready for Cameron to pick any minute now. Oh, look, it's 5 o'clock and the garden is growing and it's getting all looking like it needs watering, and there's plants dying, and the little forbidden fruit seed is now ready to be picked. So here comes Cameron to pick his forbidden fruit, and we'll find out. Did he get forbidden fruit, or is he going to get a plant sim baby? Oh, look, he's got a baby, and I didn't think of a name. Let's call him Jacob, just because that's the only name I can think of right now, and I don't think we've got a sim called Jacob at the moment. Got to kneel down. Let's pull little Jacob up out of the ground. Spun him around, and he's in a green bunny rug. A little green plant sim baby wrapped up in a green rug. Well, fortunately, this house came with a ready-made nursery. So all that Cameron needs to do is take him upstairs and put him in his crib. And that will be the end of this video. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. In the next episode, we will have a wedding and another plant sim baby potentially being picked, and then a whole group of them will go back to Cake Island. Joni and Jack, of course, will move into their own home. One of the group that goes back to Cake Island too on that trip will return to the Great Southern Land, and we will then continue on in this household with the romances between Kendall and Karen, and also between Chris and Constance. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to give it a like if you enjoyed it. It helps the channel greatly. Bye bye for now, and happy simming.